Hi guys, and welcome back to our van build series where we've been turning this parcel delivery van into a tiny home on wheels. So today I wanted to do a short video and actually answer a question that I receive a lot, and that is, how do you build shelves in a van? And more specifically, how do you do it when using the extruded aluminum product that we've used throughout this van? So here we have our galley, and probably many of you have seen this before. In fact, we are offering this in a kit. There is no markup on the kit, and all of the structure is pre-cut and milled for fasteners and comes with all the assembly hardware required to build the skeleton structure behind it. But we have in here, we have our hot water heater. We just store it here. It's not used in this configuration. And then we have our water system. And we have some space in here we'd like to take advantage of. So we'd like to build a shelf. It'd be really nice if the shelf had the height to, or the ability to be height adjustable. And ultimately, I guess what we're trying to do is, we have this induction cooktop in this drawer. I'd rather use that drawer for other things. I'd like to put the induction down here, but we have all these other things that are there. So ideally, these items will go in here in this wasted space. So let's see what we can do to build a shelf. All right, let's go ahead and clear out this cabinet. And our water system, we use this L-track restraint system, so we don't get hit by these if we get in a car accident. And then we have these quick releases that make it really easy to release these water jugs. Just while I'm in here, I'll show you guys this. These things are super nice. Not only a quick release, but they have check valves in them. And what it does is it prevents this from draining this entire line from your pump and all the water onto the floor. So the check valves prevent that. So those are nice. All right, so let's frame in some cabinet shelf supports through here. I think the way to do this is simply bolt some small aluminum channel here, and that will give us a lip in which to set a small 1/4 inch nice lightweight shelf to support our lightweight items that we'll have in here. And by simply loosening the bolt, we'll be able to slide this up and down. I'm not recessing it back into here, because if you think about it, I'm going to be sliding this in from the front. There's going to have to be a cutout to go around this drain. And I need this removable because there's a soap dispenser back there that's going to need soap on occasion, and I need to be able to access this pump and water system if there's ever a problem. So there's no way for the shelf to go back into here, be able to tilt it and be removable. So basically the shelf's going to start here. So let's go ahead, take this aluminum, and we'll measure this distance across here, put a couple holes, and I'll show you a little trick for an inexpensive way to get T-nuts in this channel. T20 is bolted up. You can't take a standard T-nut and get it in there. It's kind of trapped by this. So one thing I've used a lot of is these called a roll-in T-nut. It's got a ball bearing on the back, and you can simply slip them in and they self-center, and the ball bearing keeps the whole thing straight in the profile. These things are great. I've used tons of these. They're also expensive. So one little hack I've come up with is I'm using these really cheap, they're called economy T-nuts, and they're not the right size. These are actually meant for 10 series. This is 15 series. So it's not the right product to use here. However, it allows you to slip it in the channel and use it to bolt stuff up. But you can see the problem is that it doesn't center itself, so you can't, it's really hard to bolt something up. So the easy way I've come up with is to take a little bit of tape, peel off a little piece, and I just kind of roll it up. Oops, it's supposed to go this way. Roll it up with the sticky side out, stick it to the back like that. Then you can shove it in there, and then I just use a screwdriver and just push it against the back of the profile. Now it'll stay there, so when you go to push this through your panel, you can thread it in. So it's just kind of a hack that I've been using lately to attach things to the 80/20 structures. On the other side over here, I could do the same thing as on this side. I could mount the channel to here and allow it to go up and down, but actually this is about the right height that I want the lip of the shelf mounted. So I'm just going to mount it straight to this. Now, yeah, that means it's no longer height adjustable, but I don't really need it to be, and I kind of wanted to make the point that just how easily you can make height adjustable shelves if you want. So we're going to have them a little bit different on both sides. Now if we pretend that this is the lateral framing that was on the right side of the cabinet, we're going to take this piece of aluminum, which I've just cut down, and drilled 2 holes in it. I drilled it to the point where I could put in a bolt and it'll clear the thickness of the plywood, and it's simply going to bolt in the slot like that. Now you'll notice I have a strip of felt on here, and that's because anywhere where I have wood likes to rattle, whereas, you know, aluminum's usually bolted down to something. So I always put a little strip of felt just so the shelf isn't rattling on here. And we go off-road a lot, so let's set this up here. We've got our Caravan Super Economy self-aligning T-nut that we will put in the profile. And I'll use my screwdriver to straighten it out. And now we will bolt this up. And it worked like a champ. It is attached to the T-nut, and we can simply move on to the next one. And there we go, they're both engaged. Now just tighten them down. And there we have it. So I think many of you know I am not a woodworker, and I have caveman tools. So I used a skill saw to cut out the wood for the floor of the cabinet or of the shelf, and I use this aluminum as a guide for the skill saw so that I can get a straight cut. And then after cutting it, I installed the shelf, and I simply marked to where I need to cut out for the drain, and I will do that with a jigsaw. And here's our very simple, lightweight shelf. Our goal of emptying out a drawer has been achieved, so that is sweet. And our induction is now put in here. Instapot goes back there. Loving having a little bit more space. Originally I was planning to put a little bamboo lip on the front of this, but then I realized certain things are just going to impede getting things in and out, so I ended up putting some anti-slip mat on it instead. And it's not like this stuff can go anywhere. There's a cabinet door that closes over it. And speaking of weight, I had the van weighed. The van fully loaded on a trip came in at 7,460 pounds. And that's not too bad when you consider that this van starts out at almost 5,500 pounds empty. We have a lot of windows in the van that adds weight. This seat alone back here is 374 pounds, so that's a lot of weight, but we were fully loaded. Kid was in the car. The water was not quite full, so we had the capability to carry more water, but we also were carrying 2 bikes for friends, so we had an extra bike rack and 2 extra bikes. So yeah, 7,460 fully loaded. So I feel like we have achieved our goal of building a reasonably lightweight van. The gross vehicle weight for this particular Sprinter van is 8,550 pounds. So that means even loaded, we still have room for 1,000 pounds more stuff. I was going to show you how some of the other shelves in the van are mounted. So this shelf is simply sitting on top of an 80-20 beam that's across here. So there's a couple T-nuts in there and is bolted in place. And this is 1/2-inch plywood. In this case, rather than adding a full beam across there, I simply put some angle brackets and bolted in. There's some other places in the van where I put some angled aluminum that goes all the way across. And that's yet another way to do it. And then finally, I'll climb up here and show you the overheads. The overheads are simply sitting in the slot of the aluminum. So this is 1/4 inch, and the slots are bigger than 1/4 inch. So to make up the difference, I just shoved some of this anti-slip mat in here so it can't rattle. And one downside of making a floor this way is that because it's sitting in a slot all the way around, it has to be assembled that way, and the pieces slid together. So once it's in unless you're going to disassemble up here. So that's kind of an advantage of maybe doing it this way. If you want shelves removable, I can just slide that out. So that is yet another way. All right, guys, I hope that helps show how you can build shelves in your van, and we appreciate you watching. Check us out on the web, www.ourcaravan.com, and hope to see you guys soon.